In the news at noon, the federal government flags up second phase of COVID-19 vaccination exercise. JAMB sets to decide cut-off marks for 2021-2022 admissions on August 31st. Residents of Ikpa Road again appeal to Akwa Ibom State government for urgent intervention in gully encroached site. On the foreign scene, Malaysia's Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin resigns after 17 months in office. In the sports team, Nigeria shows of medals at upcoming Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon, welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. I am Bright James. We begin with a health report that the federal government has flagged off the second phase of the COVID-19 vaccination exercise. The flag-off ceremony held at the Federal Medical Center in Abuja was attended by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman of the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa. Also present were the Minister of Health, Dr. Sagi Hanire, the Minister of State for Health, Senator Olunimbe Mamora, the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Chikwe Ihekwazu, and the Medical Director of the FMC, Professor Aliyu Ahmed. The commencement of the second phase of the vaccination exercise was earlier shifted from last Tuesday to today due to what the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency said had to do with issues of relabeling of the vaccine doses for easy tracking by the regulatory agency, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The Executive Director of the NPHCDA, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, had said the 4 million doses of Moderna vaccine donated by the United States government and the 177,600 doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine received in the country last Thursday through the African Union and Afreximbank deal would be rolled out during the second phase of vaccination. In the meantime, Nigeria has recorded 541 new cases of COVID-19 with 94 new cases in Akwa Ibom State. The health agency, while disclosing this via its website, said of the new infections, Lagos State, the epicenter of the disease, had the highest with 242 new cases, followed by Akwa Ibom with 94, 48 cases each in Enugu and Oyo states, Anambra recording 34 new cases, 19 in Rivers State, 17 in Ogun State, 15 in Ekiti, 9 in the FCT, 7 in Kwara, 5 in Abia, 2 in Delta, and 1 in Niger State. According to the health agency, 182,503 people have so far been confirmed, while about 167,132 have been discharged, and 2,219 deaths recorded from the disease. In education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB and heads of tertiary institutions across the country will hold a policy meeting on August 31st where they'll decide the minimum cut-off marks for the 2021-2022 admissions. According to the board, decisions will be reached on new cut-off marks and other admission issues at the meeting, which will be chaired by Education Minister Adamo. Recall last year, JAMB, in collaboration with Vice Chancellors of universities, rectors of polytechnics, and provosts of colleges of education, pegged the minimum cut-off marks at 160 and above for admission into universities, 120 for polytechnics, and 100 for colleges of education. Back here, the Akwa Ibom State government has stated that engineering drawings have been submitted by 3 different companies towards the fixing of Ikpa Road and Science Park Road, 2 locations in Uyo that recently suffered heavy gully encroachment, but noted that nothing physical can be done at the moment towards fixing the roads until the current rains abate. Speaking with Planet News, the Commissioner for Environment, Charles Udo, blamed the constant encroachment of ravines across Akwa Ibom State and poorly terminated drains and said the state government's approach to fixing the Ikpa Road and Science Park Road is not for funfair, but must be done in such a way that longevity is assured.
Government would not just go immediately say, okay, let's fix it. It's easy to fix the road. We can fix the road. In 2 months, the road will be okay. If you fix that road, I can guarantee by next rain, that problem will come back. Where are we? Engineering drawings have been done by 3 different companies. We are going through their process of determining which contractor suits us. But even if we do that today, construction remediation work cannot start immediately because of the rains. You can't do earth work when the rains are here. So the soil must be firm enough for equipment to even access to begin to start construction work. So it's not something that we're going to start tomorrow or next tomorrow. Once we finish the process of choosing the right contractor, agree on the fee, we need to allow the weather to allow us that time to be able to fix it.
On disobediences by residents who still apply the route, as well as miscreants who have converted the failed portions to mini parks for the conveyance of passengers to and through Ikpa Road and Plaza, Udo noted that the task of safeguarding lives and property is not just governments alone, but that of all. He thus urged community leaders and individuals to help government's efforts in cordoning off the area by ensuring that people totally avoid the failed portions of the affected areas.
People must please avoid those areas. Environmental issues, not only government can sort it out. Everybody has a responsibility for his or her own safety. Now, government has done its bit. Government has sensitized. Government has put safety barriers there. The communities, let them understand the dangers of what they are doing. They should be community policemen to be sure that, look, you don't remove those boulders. Otherwise, in the dead of the night, a man who does not know there's a gully there will drive into it. And then lives will be lost.
Commissioner for Environment Charles Udo speaking. Meanwhile, residents of Ikpa Road around the gully encroached sites have appealed to government to urgently assist persons living close to the terrain, while lamenting that government's advice that they vacate the affected site is easier said than done, as they have no other place to relocate to. Speaking with Planet News, the residents expressed skepticism as to where they should relocate to, saying they were out of options.
Where they want to stay? Where they go live? Where the ravine just carry all this area, no problem. They government like that.
Esa no wami no nyen ke Ikpa roro mi mbok. E di fo itie mi no nyen ba. Ari idaru wema wo awa.
We are government a try.
Boy ya pe yurum bok di kurma ma san go ya pen boy ya wo Ikpa re ni o song.
E di se boy bang o song ke adiok pitu.
They further narrated their experiences so far since the gully encroachment worsened.
Even a young boy, the flag and young the if you drop a fun pocket or more get him to them friend, if I would. I will do bomb. I don't know yet. I said, okay. I will be for you. You wouldn't boon.
Here, Margaret, I'm asking to go in game bomb.
I know it's why, but I will be able.
My boy Ross, I say, Gaba, Eddie Rock, against you in Nero.
You see, I'm going to say, my boy, you feel it. Before the woman, I am born. I don't go on double transport. Show would like, damn me, I'll go.
You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and then bring more stories from our foreign sports and entertainment scenes. Please stay with us.
Locked in core values. Planet 101.1 FM. Uyo.
Thanks for staying with us. Now on the foreign scene. Malaysia's Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin has resigned and his government collapsed after just 17 months in office, throwing the country into fresh political turmoil as it battles a serious coronavirus outbreak. Yassin's tumultuous period in office came to an end after allies withdrew support, and he becomes the shortest serving premier in Malaysian history. Elsewhere, Zambia's Electoral Commission has confirmed that last week's presidential election was won by the opposition candidate Hakainde Hichilema. Hichilema defeated his main rival, the outgoing president Edgar Lungu, by more than 1 million votes rather. It was Hichilema's 6th attempt at winning the presidency. His supporters have been celebrating on the streets of the capital, Lusaka. Earlier, Lungu alleged that the elections were not free and fair. He said election officials from his Patriotic Front party had been chased from polling stations, leaving votes unprotected. In sports, Nigeria's athletes have promised to redeem the country's image at the forthcoming Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games after the nation's poor outing in the just concluded Olympics. Nigeria won only 2 medals, a silver and 1 bronze at the Olympic Games, but the Paralympians vow they will do much better at the Games, which begins on August 24th. Team Nigeria's captain, Lucy Ejike, said they've been training seriously to make sure they meet up the standard set at previous Games. Also speaking, powerlifter Nnamdi Innocent expressed appreciation to the sports minister for motivating the team. The Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games will be Nigeria's 8th consecutive appearance since her maiden appearance at Barca 1992. Nigeria had her most successful outing at the Rio 2016 Games, finishing as Africa's best team and 17th overall in the world on the medals table with 8 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals. On the entertainment scene, veteran Nollywood actress Doris Chima has died after battling cancer for months. The chairman of the Actors Guild of Nigeria Lagos State Chapter, Emeka Ibe, confirmed the death of the movie star. The actress, who is a foundation member of Actors Guild of Nigeria, was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2020, after which the affected breast was cut off to prevent further spread. It has been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FMU, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. In the news, we told you the federal government has flagged off the second phase of the COVID-19 vaccination exercise. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, and heads of tertiary institutions across the country will hold a policy meeting on August 31st, where they'll decide the minimum cut-off marks for 2021-2022 admissions. Also brought to news that the residents of Ikpa Road around the gully encroached sites have appealed to government to urgently assist persons living close to the terrain, while lamenting that government advice that they vacate the affected site is easier said than done, as they have no other place to relocate to. On the foreign scene, we told you that Malaysia's Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin has resigned and his government collapsed after just 17 months in office, throwing the country into a fresh political turmoil as it battles a serious coronavirus outbreak. And a sports reporter that Nigeria's athletes have promised to redeem the country's image at the forthcoming Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games after the nation's poor outing and the just concluded Olympics. For a comment and coverage of newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. That is 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet11fm.ng. You can also like our verified Facebook page at Planet11FM Uyo. The news was edited by Jane Owa. As we end the news, be reminded that our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every single time we fall. Therefore, never give up. Keep persisting to succeed. I am Bright James. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening.